Hello there, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to Pink Lady Presents Lives Well Lived. And today, definitely, we have some great lives well lived. I am actually going to send you all flying to the moon with music. Our guest today, Ray Ortiz, which means in Hebrew, flying to the light. Wait till you see the light we're going to have.
Flying light.
I love it. And we have Avi Avila. Avliav.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him Avi, everyone, because you know me
He
with
couldn't
names.
be Smith
I
or
know.
Jones. He had to be Avliav.
Yeah.
These two wonderful gentlemen are the founders and the musical composer and director of the Kol Sephardic Choir. I'm going to start with the youngest person here, which is Ray. Raphael, you are the youngest one, so I don't think that you will mind, Avi.
Yeah.
You were born in the Sudan,
Yes.
and you were lucky to have a lovely mother, Grace, I believe her name
Yes.
is, who had 9 children, and you were one of them.
7. No, you're
Nine,
right.
yeah, 9.
9, but 7 survived.
Right. And tell me about your beginning music with your lovely mother.
In the Sudan, I was just a youngster when my family decided to go to
Israel.
Palestine.
Palestine, right.
At the time, that was the place for the Jews.
Right.
Now they're questioning whether we have the right there or not. But we went to Palestine. Today it's Israel. And I started public school in the Sudan, but because I was young, so I started again in Israel.
And let me ask you, when you did study, you studied at the Talmud Torah, which is a Hebrew school in
Well, the
Israel.
Talmud Torah was in addition to the public school.
Wow, okay.
Yes, that was religious studies.
And I must state something first, or ask something. You studied, and I was trying to get this, everyone, liturgical music? Liturgical music.
That is
What
correct.
is that?
Well, we have in our prayers, whether it's Saturday or during the week, we have many portions from the book of the Psalm.
Okay.
So this is liturgical songs written by King David.
I get it.
And many of them have special tunes, which we sing also in our repertoires.
Okay.
And they have special tunes in comparison to the Jews in Europe, which we know as Ashkenazim.
Okay.
The reason the Jews of Europe are known as Ashkenazim is because Germany, to where many Jews followed the Romans' troop, was called Ashkenaz.
I hope everyone understands that this is also a history lesson. Am I correct?
Yeah, somewhat in comparison to the Jews who followed the Roman columns towards Spain.
They were the Sephardim.
And Spain in Hebrew is Sfarad.
Okay.
And the Jews who lived in Spain are called Sfaradim, of which my descendants come from. We were in Spain and Portugal.
I understand.
Consequently, our custom, some of our habits are somewhat different than the Ashkenazi Jews.
Then, this is a journey, everyone. Then you start to study aeronautical engineering. Now watch this. After you started to study, you came to the United States.
No.
No.
I came to the United States in order to study
To aeronautical engineering.
That was just about pre-establishment of the State of Israel.
Okay, and then you went back to Israel
Yeah.
because there was a fighter plane waiting for you.
Yes.
And what was the name of that plane that you hit?
I know some people may have some difficulty,
Me.
but to pronounce it, the name is Kfir.
See how I got around that one? Yes, I tell you, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then you came back to the United States. I mean, are you on this journey with me? And then you went to, I think at that time it was Rockwell, but then we all
Yes.
know it as Boeing. You were in the space shuttle. Tell us about that for 22 years.
Again, when my contract completed with the State of Israel, although they wanted me to stay, but because of family situation, my son graduated from high school and he wanted to go to UCLA, so we decided to come back for different reasons. And the place that was available and was very attractive was to go into space,
Right, right.
which is related to my last name, or Tas.
There you go, flying to the light, right. I love this. Now, when did you start your music again to create the Kol Sephardi choir?
Yeah, well, for many years I thought about it because in my contact with the various communities here, and I belong to the Sephardic community, attendance was going down, and I thought that we have to revive the Sephardic music and culture, which was lacking here. And I belonged to one of the temples, and I suggested to the rabbi, who was very enthusiastic, and to form a choir. And sure enough, when we started to sing on Friday night,
everyone came.
when we barely had a group for a minyan, for to have a regular prayer, we started to have audience coming from even from distance, because it was unique again.
That's right. I'm going to stop you there because I'm now going to introduce your other half here, because they will tell that story about getting together after. But the other half is Avi. And pronounce your last name to everyone.
So it's Avliav. So
Avliav.
I was born with the name Avi and the last name Avliav. Even for Israelis, it was a little bit challenging. to say
Yeah,
Avi
challenging.
Avliav?
Yeah.
So that just kind of combined became Avli during the years. So
It's
most
actually
people
very
call me
much
Avli.
like her grandchildren and great-grandchildren call her Pink Pink. So, I mean, you're Avli.
There you go.
You're
there you
in
have
the
it.
right place.
You're in the right place. So you actually, I would tell our audience, is what I consider, after reading all about you, is, because you still are, a child protege. I mean, really. You started at 3 with, I think it was a composition teacher?
A composition teacher, a piano teacher, yes, absolutely.
At 3? At 3, okay. And you studied with her how long, until you were what?
So I studied with her for about 6 years, 7 years, and then she actually left for Berkeley. She left Israel. That was in Israel.
Right. You were born in Tel Aviv.
Exactly. And she left for Berkeley. I kept studying with her teacher, which was like a really serious composer, orchestrator, pianist, that actually was the teacher of Baryshnikov.
Wow.
You know, so I studied most of my life, you know, piano composition, orchestration, production, film scoring, and, you know, found myself...
And somewhere in there, there's also guitar, because we
I
noticed
didn't know
when we were
that.
in your
Oh.
studio, we saw your piano and your guitar.
a little
and
guitar, drums,
a
percussion.
little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of
If
everything.
I'm telling
but
you, they each have had journeys that are just amazing to me. I'm going to do something a little different today, if you don't mind, Dov.
Every day is
Every
a
day
little
is a
different.
little different.
I'm used to it.
I know the story of my life here, being humble and shy as I am, everyone. They all know I am.
But I'm going to tell you something which is really, you say, will boggle the imagination.
Okay.
When I met Avi, and we keep talking, and I found that his grandmother comes from Izmir
Izmir, okay.
in Turkey. And she comes from the Hakim family, which is the same as my mother.
Oh, Mike, so you're like you're just a
somewhere back there
relative.
you're-
Yeah.
you're related.
Somewhat distantly related.
I love
And
it.
the music gene
Yes.
went through both of you.
So what we're going to do is we have a program for all of you today, as I said, that will blow your minds. Avi, before we continue with your life,
Right.
can you tell us like about one of the songs that we're going to hear today, one or two of them?
One of the songs we're going to hear today is Jerusalem of Gold. It's Yerushalayim Shel Zahav in Hebrew. This song is basically kind of became like almost a second anthem for the state of Israel. It's such a big song, and probably I would probably say maybe the most known song, Israeli song outside of Israel. Is kind of a prayer for and talking about Jerusalem and how important Jerusalem is for the Jewish state as a capital of Israel. So Jerusalem of Gold is going to be one of them. Second song is a very familiar Ladino song. Oh, by the way, talking about Jerusalem of Gold, we did something very interesting about that song. We actually took the words in Hebrew and also translated it to Ladino
Oh.
on the second half of the song. So that's going to be a completely new version that haven't been heard. And that was
Fabulous.
Raphael's
Explain,
idea.
if you will, to the
Yes.
audience the difference, because they're hearing Latino,
Right.
not Ladino with a D.
Yeah, that's right.
Explain what Ladino is made up of.
Okay. You see, when the Jews were expelled from Spain,
Yes.
they went to Yugoslavia, acquired Yugoslavian words. They went to Turkey, they acquired a few
Turkish.
Turkish words. Some of them went to Palestine. They inserted Hebrew words. So you cannot say any longer that it's Spanish.
Okay.
So although it was a dialect more close to Castilian Spanish, you had foreign words for different places. And consequently, you couldn't call it Spanish. So from what I found out, that Ladino come to the word laderar, to speak, means the language that we speak.
I like
which
that.
is Spanish, but is not really Spanish.
Thank you, everyone. And Avi, you were
There
telling
will
me
be a
about
quiz later, by the way.
that's the you continue with the first song or more?
Right. The second song
Okay.
is probably, I would say, the most familiar song in Ladino, Cuando el Nimrod. We're going to perform it later on, and it's going to be it's a full Ladino song, very energetic. Yeah, you're going to hear about it a little bit later.
It is really about the story about the wife of Abraham, our father. The song is about Abraham, our father, how we extol him as the head of our tribe, the Hebrew tribe.
The patriarch, right?
Yeah,
the patriarch.
yeah.
I want everyone to know also that Avi not only was a child protege, but he has won some phenomenal awards. The awards: Best Composer, Soundtrack Editing, Sound Design, and Arranger. I mean, this is like all happening in the same time in your life, which I've never heard of before. And then you were also nominated for an Israeli Oscar
Yeah.
and for original score of, I believe, it's 6 million pieces. Now, I want you all to understand something. Some of this was done in the same year. So when I say child protege, I mean he's a little bigger now, so a teen protege, you're going to understand what I mean about Avi. How difficult is it to do all these things in the same time? I mean, literally. I mean, in a year, you won all these awards, so you had to have written all these things.
Right.
But by the way, we have an expression in this country: when you're hot, you're hot.
Yeah.
And you were and continue
yeah.
to be hot. So congratulations.
But I have to say that
Yes.
even in front of Avi,
Yes.
we were lucky to get him, to be our musical director.
Oh, yes,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
And because we are doing marvelous music that nobody have done so far.
Well, but you have someone that you both have backgrounds. You both have something to give to the particular projects that you're doing. Avi,
Yeah.
when you moved here, you moved what year? 2008, I think it was?
So yeah, '08. That's after doing the things you've mentioned
Right.
before. I was always drawn to American music. I was
Okay.
raised on. It's funny to say because my Israeli friends, they always ask me, how can't you know this Israeli song? I said, like, I wasn't raised on Israeli music. My dad used to listen to Pink Floyd,
I love it.
Stevie Wonder,
I love it.
Michael Jackson,
Right.
Donna Summer, just the Dire Straits, a lot of the American music. Actually, as a baby, I couldn't even listen to Israeli songs. I was only relaxed by listening to American music somehow. And during the years, I decided, after, the Oscar nomination and working with some of the top names in Israel, I decided that it's about time to kind of,
Right.
get out of my comfort zone and try something new.
What is the third and fourth song that we're going to hear?
We have two more songs we're gonna perform today. One of them is by our soloist Elizabeth Martinez.
Oh, wow, okay.
The song is Ir mi quiero madre.
I love the way you say that.
Starts with beautiful a cappella and just thrilling. She has a beautiful voice. You're gonna hear later. The fourth song you guys gonna hear is actually Arvoles.
Oh.
And Arvoles, I'm gonna let you explain because Rafael does an amazing job explaining about this song.
Okay.
So
Well, we are going to celebrate from this weekend and the next couple of weeks Holocaust Day among the Jewish people.
Right.
And unfortunately, not too many people realize that many of the Sephardic community that existed before World War II were wiped out by the German as well. And many of the Sephardic Jews were sent to Auschwitz and lost their lives. So the tradition tells us that they adopted a love song where a couple lived in a country and they're supposed to separate because the family are moving. And the song says, I'm going to a different country. I don't know if I'm coming back, and I may die in a foreign land. So this was adopted by the Jews who were sent to Auschwitz.
Wow.
And the song says,
Heavy duty.
Yom evo morir, I will be dying in that foreign country.
Hoo-ha.
And many did. So I make it a point that every performance that we perform, no matter when, what, or whatever, that this song is being sung in their memory,
Right.
and also to people to know that many Sephardic Jews were exterminated
Lost their lives,
by the
right?
evil creature in Germany.
I get it. Question. How did the two of you meet? So that our audience will know how these two stars met to create a satellite.
Well, I was not happy with the musical director that I had. And I was looking around for somebody to substitute. So by coincidence, I also knew Farber, that had his teacher. And I called her up and I asked her if she would like to conduct our choir. She says, look, I am loaded with work, thank God.
But,
But
Have I
I
got a
have one
person
of my
for you?
youngest students
Yeah.
is here in town. Meet him, talk
right,
to him.
right.
And I said, great. If he was your student, maybe that's what we're looking for. And sure enough, we met, we clicked, And I says, Avi, next rehearsal, come and I'm not going to say anything. Well, as it turned out, it was a perfect timing. And by the end of that visit, he was conducting the
I
choir.
love it. I love you know what they say. There's a word in my language, and it's called bashert, which means tell
meant to
everyone,
be.
It's meant to be. And in life, sometimes that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And the two of you are like one in thought, and I love it. And you each bring to the conversation, so to speak, something different which melds in the end. And that's what's important. Avi, what is your take on that? I mean, you're composing now, you're also, you have something new. You have your own particular studio, am I
Yeah,
correct? Called
that's right.
Cockpit.
The Cockpit Studio, yeah.
Cockpit Studio.
Yeah.
And how new is that?
So the Cockpit Studio was founded about 3.5 years ago.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you. We built it basically from the ground up. It's my dream studio that I got to design and exactly, from the ground up the way I like it. Mm-hmm. And I mostly do artist development over there, which means taking young, talented artists,
Right.
writing the songs for them, co-writing, writing,
Right.
producing, arranging, bringing musicians,
Well,
all that.
It says that you do, and this is what I didn't understand, specializing in synthesizers, MIDI, M-I-D-I, programming,
MIDI.
and audio processing. How do you pronounce it?
MIDI.
So MIDI, yeah.
Well, what is that?
MIDI is a general language for synthesizers, basically, to be able to communicate and
Okay.
different devices to communicate in the studio. This has been around for quite some time. These are only the tools, but the main job is, or what I mainly do during the day, is working with artists. Write the songs for them, produce. Bring into record labels, finding deals and stuff like that. So for me, when I do this kind of project, which is completely different than my everyday, because I mainly do pop, rock, stuff like that. Artists that are signed with Geffen, with Warner, and when Rafael came to me with this project, other than the fact that I knew absolutely nothing about Ladino, I was definitely curious because I love those songs.
Right.
It's a very different type of creative output for me. So I get to play by kind of my own rules and do whatever I want because thank God he has trust in what I do and gives me complete freedom to do what you do. And
as long as it comes
is
out
great.
right.
Yeah, one of the things that I wanted to say, because I think it's so appropriate for the two of you, is when I drive down past the Sephardic temple to the next temple, Sinai Temple, and on the front of the building it says Lador Vador, from generation to generation. And we have here, from generation to generation,
Correct.
the transference of the desire, the enthusiasm. I mean, everything that you love so much, you now have entrusted to Avi and the choir. And if there was ever an explanation of Lador Vador,
That's it.
you are it.
Thank you very much.
And when you think about it, those songs, the Ladino songs that we're singing, we're going to be singing today, those songs have been basically passed from mother to a daughter for the past over 500 years.
I know. Now you have a new CD coming out.
Yes.
What is the name of the CD?
Two of them. We don't have a name for it
There's
yet.
no name yet.
The unnamed,
The
incognito.
Sephardic.
Okay, so when you do have a name,
Right.
we will announce it to our audience.
Okay.
And we will tell them about it and how they go to your website. By the way, what is your website?
So the website is callsephardicchoir.com. You can find our music over there for streaming, to purchase or purchase it during on our shows. We keep updating the website all the time.
And to make sure that the audience gets to the correct spelling,
Right.
Yeah.
on the screen, in what we call the lower third, it says Kol, K-O-L, Sephardic,
Sephardic.
S-E-P-H-A-R-D-I-C,
Correct.
choir.
choir.com.
With that-
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen out there in our wonderful audience.
I just
They'll
want
have
to
to
make
yes.
a comment. Very important. The name of the choir was from the start was Kol, which in Hebrew means voice, Sephardic, and I want to emphasize that it's a Sephardic choir. But the ingenious of my people who are part of the choir came up with a name, the Rose, R-O-S-E.
Okay.
And that
Love that.
means Rafael Ortas Sephardic Ensemble.
Do you get that? I love it. We will be right back with the most enthralling music I believe you've ever heard. We'll be right back.
It's my pleasure to present Elizabeth Martinez, who will be singing a unique song written over 500 years ago, the longing of the Jewish people to visit Jerusalem, the capital of Israel, which is today recognized by the United States and the world over. And with her will accompany a flamenco dancer. We have an ensemble that accompany us in various songs when we sing, and that is where the flamenco music and the dance come from. And it is our pleasure to have Elizabeth Epina, who is the director of that group, and participate with us in all our performances.
Yeah.
I am beyond words, my dear audience out there. I am so excited because you are going to hear something that will literally take you to places that you have never, ever been in music before. I'm going to turn this over without another word from me to Avi and the Kol Sephardic Choir. God bless you.
And now we're going to listen to Arvoles by the Kol Sephardic Choir. And now you're going to listen to a very special arrangement for Quandor and Nimrod, Kol Sephardic Choir.
All I can say to everyone out there is that today was a blessing. To hear these phenomenal, beautiful ladies in the Cole Sephardic Choir, and to know that there are two gentlemen, Raphael Ortiz and Avi Avila, behind them, watching their back and giving them the voice for the Cole Sephardic Temple, has absolutely been a thrill to me and to all of you. God bless you all, ladies. My dear friends out there, you have had the day of your life with the music today. Thank you so very, very much.
And thank you.
Thank you. We will see you soon.
I'm gonna have my fling. I'm gonna live until I die. The blues I lay low, I'll make 'em stay low. They'll never trail over my head.